Okay guys, here I am. I'm going to help you guys learn a little bit more about reading these larger numbers. And we're going to use this place value chart to help you. The first thing you need to remember is you've got to learn your place values. You've got to know your ones, your tens, your hundreds, your thousands, your 10,000, 100,000s, and even you should know where your millions are. But reading these large numbers can be a little tricky at first, but once you get it, it's actually pretty simple. Once you start understanding the skill behind it, I think you can read numbers all the way up to the billions and trillions. Because really the skill of reading any number is the same skill that it takes to read a 3-digit number. And I'm talking about a 3-digit number like 598. If you can read numbers from the hundreds down, you can read any number with this simple trick. So just pay attention and look as we go. The first thing you need to know is that we separate our numbers in groups of 3, which are called periods. And what I mean by that is if you look at this place value chart, I have my ones, tens, and hundreds in red. That is the ones period. That's the first group of 3 numbers. Then I have my thousands, my 10,000s, and my 100,000s. Those are all in green because that's our second period, which is the thousands period. And then I have millions here starting in yellow. And if we continue this chart, you would have 10 millions and also 100 millions. You know, they would all be in yellow because that would be the third period. And then, of course, you could keep going on and on and on with billions and trillions. Okay? But we group our numbers in groups of 3 called periods. And those periods, if you look down below, when you're not using a place value chart, are separated by commas. See these commas over here? And that's important when writing numbers and also reading numbers. You need to look for those commas. When you're writing big numbers and you're working your way from the right to the left, after every 3 digits you write down, if you're going into 4, 5, 6 digits and beyond, you have to remember to put those commas in there to separate and group the digits. That way people can read your number. And we use those commas to help us read these numbers. So let's say we had 26, 7, 20, 21. Of course, we don't read this number and we don't say 26721. Okay, that's how we say phone numbers, but that's not how we read real numbers. Okay, we read them based on their place value, and the commas help us. So you can see that I have a 2 and a 6. The 2's in the 10,000s, that represents 20,000. Then I have 6 in the thousands, so that represents 6,000s. Then I have 700s, 2 10s, which is 20, and then 1 1. Okay? So if I just had this number right here, let's cover this up for a minute. Okay? Oops. Let me get that thing back for a second. Okay, let's say I covered up the 26. You can kind of see it, but for some reason it's not letting me do this quite right. Let's say I covered up the 26 and I had just these 3 digits. Everybody here should be able to know how to write these 3 digits, the 721, or say them. You would simply say them as 721. You would start with the left, start with the highest place value, which was 700, and just read to the right, 721. Okay? Well, you're going to do the same thing with the next period. But when you see the comma that comes after it, that teaches you to say the period that those numbers fall in. So let me show you what I mean. What you would do is you would pretend, and you can cover up, let's do this right, you can cover up these last three numbers, like so, okay, and pretend they're not there. You look, you have a 2 and a 6. Okay, you would read that number just like you would read the number 26, because you see 26 there. So you would simply read that number just as if it were the number 26. So I would say 26. However, because I see this first comma down here, that comma tells me to say the word thousand, because it's saying that those two digits are in the thousands period. So I say, okay, it's not just 26, but it's 26. I see the comma, 26,000. Then I go ahead and I read the rest of the number. 26,721. Okay, I can even go all the way up and put this in. Let's see if I add a 3 into the hundred thousands. The same thing applies. I go over here, I cover up my 721. I look at these three digits, the 326. I say the number just like it's any three-digit number. 326. However, because there's one comma down here, that tells me to say thousand, because I'm in the thousands period. Once I say thousand, I can then finish reading the number. So I cover it up. I say 326,721. That comma is going to help tell me what period I'm in. Now, for instance, let's say I have this number, and we keep getting bigger and bigger. Okay? Well, now I look at it, and I see that I have two commas. Okay? I have two commas in this number now. I have one here, and then I have the one that's underlined in green. So I have to teach myself that whenever I see two commas, the first comma that's in green represents the thousands period, and that second comma that's in red is going to be the millions period. And so anything that comes before that comma, I read as million. Then anything that comes after that, before my green comma, would be thousand. And then I finish off the number like I normally would. And I can cover everything up. So let me show you that example right here. I take this, I cover up my numbers just to help me out a little bit. I say I have a 6, so I read it just like if it was the 6 in the ones place. I say 6, but I realize that I have two commas. So that first comma tells me to say 6 million. Then I keep moving my way to the right. Now I'm in the thousands period, so I say 6 million. I read the 326 just like it's in the hundreds, so I say 326,721. The commas help you figure out what period you are in. And you read the every three digits just like it's in the hundreds. But then when you see those commas, they tell you what period to say at the end of that. So for instance, I have two commas here again. So I have 6,326,721. It's kind of tricky, but once you get it, it's actually going to be quite simple. So practice, practice, practice.